Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, a show that examines all aspects of sexuality, from physical to emotional to spiritual. Join our hosts as they discuss age-old questions, common misconceptions, and the latest topics surrounding sex. They'll tackle topics about sexuality from the complicated to the hilarious and everything in between. GSMC Sex Podcast is your show for all of your questions about sex, even some you might not have thought of yet.
Hello, my horny little devils, and welcome to the Sex Podcast with your host, Andra, where the topic is about sex from the point of view of an older woman. Now, we all want to practice safe sex. We're worried about, don't go out without that raincoat, condoms, the sayings. We also go to our doctors to be checked for any, sexually transmitted disease, AIDS, hepatitis B, all this stuff. We want to be healthy. But we also need to be healthy by balancing our health below the belt. Now, ladies, these are some tidbits for a healthy vagina. We all know that our pH balance needs to be in good health, and we have little ways in which it tells us that, our vagina tells us that it's done. Now, a normal pH balance should stay in the range of 3.8 to 4.5. Now, if it goes outside of that, obviously, we're in danger of getting urinary tract infections, which is not comfortable for a man or a woman, but mainly known for women to get them. So we really want to make sure that our health below the belt is maintained, as well as a healthy sex life. So some foods that actually just aid with this is it's amazing. So we're going to talk about some foods that would help us below the belt, help our vagina be healthy, because that's what we want. So now, everybody knows cranberries help tackle UTIs, urinary tract infections. And it is, you gotta drink this, not the sweet cranberry juice. You gotta drink the pure 100% cranberry juice for that to work. Because it is full of antioxidants and acidic compounds, which are powerful infection fighters. And they can help bacteria from adhering to the bladder wall. So this is one way, which I would say at least 90% of women know, because that's what our moms will tell you right off the front, right off that, it hurts when I go to the bathroom, oh, you have a UTI, so drink cranberry juice. So that's really good. So here's the cranberries' main health features. Obviously, I've already told you that they contain acidic compounds to fight bacteria. They also contain antioxidants, vitamin E, and vitamin C to boost your immunity so you don't get UTIs that often. There is a pro tip. Opt for the natural and sugar-free juice varieties or fresh cranberries. So just go in there to the market and buy 10 of cranberries with nothing on them. If you can't eat them straight out because cranberries are quite bitter, mix them into like a smoothie. Or there are cranberry pills that are actually available that you can take. So that's something you want to look at. Another food that maintains vagina health are sweet potatoes. They're actually known for fertility. Ladies out there who are planning to have children or are, coming home and having fun making babies, eat some sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes benefits, they're particularly for women trying to get pregnant, obviously, as I said. They're rich in beta carotene and vitamin A. They also help strengthen and protect uterine walls, so that's your uterus walls. It has also been known that sweet potatoes help with the fertility and reproduction, not only in women, but men as well. So, men and women, this particular food it's good for both of you. So, if you're working hard for that baby, pull out some sweet potatoes, whip them up any way you like them. They're healthy for the vagina, they're healthy for the penis, and helping getting those juices flowing. So that, that sperm meets the egg and strengthening a woman within so she doesn't have any difficulties reproducing. It also, not only for the women and men, when we're having fun making babies, it actually helps for a very healthy fetal development. And here we are just eating sweet potatoes on Thanksgiving. Stop pulling out all ways to make sweet potato fries, sweet potatoes with baked on the stove. Think of many other ways to make them because they're very, very healthy for our vaginas and reproducing and the like. There are some nutrients that are found in sweet potatoes that also help with the production of sex hormones, which they are actually recommended for women with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So these are just foods, your everyday foods you go into the market for. How amazing is that? So let's recap on the sweet potato. They contain high amounts of vitamin A, can strengthen muscle tissues for a healthy vagina and uterus wall. And the pro tip with them is, start your morning with one of these delicious and healthy sweet potato toast recipes. There are toast recipes for this. For energy and ample dose of vitamin A. So in the morning, if you're going to make some toast, instead of grabbing that white bread or the wheat bread, grab some sweet potato bread. And I know that they have, potato bread out there. Another food that helps with the vagina. Now, when we're thinking of foods, we're thinking of what's inside of the food that is going to be the healthy dose for a healthy vagina. And probiotics are always good for the body because, they introduce good bacteria, and especially down there, they usually work with your intestines, but they are actually known to help with your vagina. Now, not everybody loves yogurt, but the probiotic rich foods, which everybody knows yogurt is, but kimchi, which is an Asian food, they help balance your pH level and water from infections. With probiotics, they balance your pH levels, water from infections. Good thing, some yogurt is the top one with probiotics. However, because they contain calcium, it also eases the PMS symptoms. And we're going to stop right there and pick this up in the next segment and then go on to nipple play. So hold on to your seats and we'll be back.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Welcome back to the Sex Podcast with your host, Andra, where the topics are about sex from the point of view of an older woman. Now, in the last segment, we were talking about foods for the vagina. Bits for below the belt for a healthy vagina. And some of them go in the healthy for men and fertility. But right now, we're focusing on our friend ladies, the vagina. When they're healthy, sex is even more healthier. And we are loved. Now we left off at number 4, which are plant fats. And with plant fats, we actually get better circulation and a better sex drive. Our vagina speaks to us when we give it the good stuff. In plants, you find the omega-3 fatty acids that help with circulation and blood flow. And remember, good blood flow, good orgasms. Opens up. That's what we want. We're not all rushing there to get the best one that we can. Now, it also helps to ease menstrual cramping. Now let's go on to the bare facts of plant fatty acids. 1. Treat painful menstrual cramping more effectively with ibuprofen, which is Motrin, as opposed to Tylenol. Then it also promotes, plant fatty acids also promote good circulation, and it actually relieves the dryness of the vagina. Something you can just pick up somewhere, go into a GSMC vitamin store, your local CVS vitamin aisle, and pick up some, plant fats. Now, if you're wondering which ones are the plant fats, Fatty acids are found in oily fish, so obviously there's vitamin of fish oil. There's also flaxseed, another food for the plant fats. Topic is walnuts and eggs, and the list goes on. It's out there. If you're in tune with your green thumb, you should be able to think, you should find lots of things that are going to work. Now we are on number 5, which is nice. And we've discussed this one. An apple. Apple helps with a good orgasm. It's a citrusy fruit. It helps to promote better sexual function, arousal, lubrication, and the ability to orgasm. So that apple a day that keeps the doctor away is actually helping you. So the doctor doesn't need to be seen that often. So instead of eating one, eat about 5, 6, 7, 8, more. Now, how apples are healthy for your vagina. They contain phytoestrogen, fluororesidazine. I'm probably butchering that, but let's try that again. Fluoridazine. A little clearer. They also have oxidants. And it's just their overall is to better blood flow, better sexual function, lubrication, and the ability to have a more satisfying orgasm for us ladies. Next one's soy. And now, a lot of doctors, at least that I have seen, will tell you not to eat soy, but it's actually healthy for your vagina because it helps to with your estrogen levels, and it mimics estrogen. So you'll find that most doctors will tell you if you are taking estrogen, do not eat soy because it's messing with the balance in your body. Just a little nitpick so that you know that. And they will tell you that as well. But it actually helps with women who have a reduction in estrogen. And that's the main reason why they tell you if you are taking estrogen, do not take soy because it's just going to keep giving you estrogen. And it could off balance you. And this is usually, in menopause when us ladies, our bodies need to be reevaluated. But we should always maintain a healthy vagina. Now it's soy for vagina health. It's plant-derived phytoestrogen is beneficial to women with the decreased estrogen levels, and only if you're not already on a estrogen supplement. But do talk to your doctor beforehand. It helps with vaginal dryness, and it is actually good for skin and blood vessel health during postmenopausal times with women. A pro tip with this is, you are to, opt for minimal processed soy products such as tofu, tempeh, miso. You can find all this stuff basically anywhere right now. But most people, as I'm saying it, are probably saying, an Asian market. But yes, just as with all of these, just make sure you talk with your doctor. But the one in particular is soy because of what it does. If you are on already an estrogen supplement, it will alter your levels. So you need to really talk to your doctor regarding that one. Although good for you, just make sure that, your levels are good. And always maintain doctor's appointments. That one's out avocados, which we always know avocados is really good. They boost your libido and your estrogen levels. Also, they enhance lubrication for us ladies down there, which is really, really nice. And these are your vitamin B and potassium, which are really nice. And there are all kinds of ways to eat avocado. And the first thing that I think about is guacamole. What is guacamole? Mushed up avocados. Leafy greens is our last one on our list. And that actually helps to relieve dryness in our vagina. Because they do, and it has to be the dark, leafy greens like your cauliflower, kale, seaweed, and broccoli's, it's a vegetable, it's dark, it's green, but if you're gonna go leafy, those are the really good ones. These particular greens have a high amount of vitamin E, magnesium, and calcium, which are good for muscle health, especially building up your vaginal walls. So, with that in mind, go hit those vitamin stores, or that vitamin aisle, and pick out some good, healthy foods for your vagina. Now we're going to start our next segment, our next topic, shall I say. Sorry, not segment, we're already in that. We are going to talk about nipple play through different sex positions which will enhance or even just set you off to have that orgasm without even having sex. So let's get started, and then we're going to take a break and come back and finish out nipple play. When we think of nipple play, what do we think of? Oh, just the man licking them, caressing them, getting them to stand on erect. Stopping here. Bring you back on that note. We're going to take a brief break here and come back and continue nipple play.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the Sex Podcast with your host, Andra, where the topic is about sex from the point of view of an older woman. Now, last segment, I left with a little bit of a cliffhanger to start off for nipple play, so let's just continue in with nipple play. Now, we all know that when we're in sex and we want that ultimate orgasm, we relate it to our pelvis, our clitoral a clitoris, a clitoral area, should I say. And that's what we're focused on. If we're focused on that, play with it long enough, we'll have an orgasm, which is all by and true. However, never underestimate the power of our tiny little nipples, people, especially us ladies, because when we do that, stimulating the nipples actually stimulates multiple body areas at once on us. So we're getting more of a thrill for us ladies. It heightens, or it lightens up an area of the brain that heightens all of the individual sensations we feel. So we're going to have a stronger, more elaborate, more rainbow producing orgasm. Now, each woman, and I'll put this out there, each woman does have a different sensation point, but the nipples, along with the clitoris, are one of the lovely erogenous zones. And it's a very super sensitive area for nerve endings, and this is why it is so orgasmically powerful to set us into that major orgasm. So nipples are our friends, and use them well. We are never disappointed about that when playing with our nipples, and that's usually the first thing that our partners go for, is to play with that, and then, play with your nipples, and then work their way down your body. But playing with your nipples is getting you started and is opening up everything. So this is pretty cool. Now, to get more nipple play, there are different positions that have been found to be most satisfactory in this area. The first one's the face off. You have your partner sitting on a chair, you're sitting on them, facing them, and just the mere rubbing of your nipples against your partner's chest, you're getting that sensation. And while you're probably, deep throating each other with your tongues, your nipples are getting that place. So those sensations are going on, which you're sending off those signals to your vagina, your clitoris, and you're working on those, that area. So your nipples are getting played with in this position, even though he or she is not putting their hands directly on there or their mouth directly on your nipples. Just that sensation of rubbing back and forth or against each other is what's that turn on. Obviously, the doggy style with your partner behind you, and while you're there, your breasts are just hanging. So now you really have the blood flowing down to there, and your partner wraps around and starts playing with your nipples, and it's just with the blood flow going there and then opening up everything. Your nipples are ripe for the taking, and playing with them will just really set off or put you more, or your erogenous areas into a frenzy, and you'll be screaming for more. We have the pretzel dip. This is a side lying position, and it has been found that most likely all side lying positions are great for nipple play, because not only are they entering you into your vagina and playing that way. It's the angle and the fact that they can be free. Your partner can be free just to play, lick, suck on your nipples. And they're right there. And you can just relax. You're looking at each other. You're in the moment. So it's there. You don't even have to do anything different. And you could try different things like, taking an ice cube, having your partner take an ice cube and rub it on your nipples, which is what's going to happen. They're going to get cold and they're going to stick up in an erect position, and pretty damn hard too. So that's even more of an ultimate turn on, because now those nerve endings are, at the end or right up there. Just throw your brain into a frenzy. We have gee whiz position. Yeah, they come up with some funky names. Now that's when you put your legs up over their shoulders and they're looking at you and they're penetrating you much deeper, but your nipples are right there and they can just put their arms around you. You can brace yourself on them by holding their arms, and they can play with your nipples and just watch you while you're sashaying your hips back and forth, up and down, and getting that rub of your clitoris going. The cowgirl, obviously we all know what that is. Us ladies on top, where we love it. And the men are just checking us, going back and forth while our breasts are going up and down. So the first thing they're going to do is just grab and tickle wickle the nipples. We have the caboose. The caboose is actually, you're sitting both on the floor, and it's almost a cuddling and a sensuous position. You're both sitting on the floor. You're sitting on him in between his legs with your back facing him, but you have that support from the floor, which is good. And he can just come around and play with your nipples, so you can play with your nipples, which is going to make that a very satisfying. Another lay down position in the cuddle position is the scoop me up. Same concept, you're just laying on your side. Then you have one in the chair man. Same thing, you're sitting in a chair. It's your nipples are just crying to be, played with. And due to the angle of penetration, he's just hitting all areas. And the nipples are playing, tickling with the nipples and rubbing them and squeezing them. Pretty difficult to lick them in that position, but hey, another one is a spork. He's laying down and, one leg raised. You're raising one leg. Your nipples are rubbing against his chest or her chest, whichever you prefer, your partner overall. Tabletop. We know the movie The Postman. He's got you, he's standing, or your partner's standing, and your pelvis is hanging off the bed. And he's going in, or they're going in from that angle, and have, can just lean right over and lick your nipples and stuff. And you don't have any problem with that one. But those are some positions that you can use, and which will enhance nipple play, which enhances that orgasm, because playing with our nipples opens up that area of the brain that just sends off sensation everywhere. And because our nipples are sensitive, and with all those nerve endings, go for it, ladies. Orgasm scream, and at the top of your lungs. That's the end of my segment. And as always, Valentine's is coming up. Enjoy, but do play safe sex. Eat some healthy foods that we all eat every day, which will enhance that sexual encounter. Bye-bye for now.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast.